And welcome back, and welcome back, and welcome back, and welcome back. And welcome back. My name is Jacob O'Connor. I'm 22 years old, and I'm in the process of opening a restaurant. And this is where I document that journey. Just finished up with a couple miles this morning. It's been a bit chilly out for Florida. It's been about 45 degrees at night, and it's been raining for about the last 3 days. So I'm about to go hop in the pool and use that as an ice bath. It's still raining right now, so you get a good little cold shock from it. And I think it helps with the inflammation a little bit. I'm gonna go hop in, and then I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. I do have to say it's been real nice being able to use the pool as an ice bath since it's been a little bit cooler at night the last few nights. I've tried using the different bathtubs we've been at while living here in Florida, but the drains haven't worked too well, and so the water's drained out. It just hasn't been the most efficient ice bath. And so with it being cold out, and especially the fact that it was raining, it was a real nice cold shock that I got. So really missed that feeling, and it was good to have it back. But yeah, that's another week in the books. John and I ended up working 6 days this week in the restaurant, and then today, our 7th day, technically our weekend. We had a few different meetings that I'll talk about. So it's been a little bit busier of a week as far as actual hours worked in restaurant, but learning so much. They really do kind of throw you off the deep end and just make it such an immersive experience that you pick so many different things up. So I've been really grateful and thankful for that so far. One of the things John and I are figuring out, never having worked in a restaurant before, is you don't know what to look for, you don't know what you don't know. And so when you think about that in terms of hiring, it's like, well, you want to hire the best person that's going to make your restaurant the most successful, that can help handle the key personnel and make sure that you're hitting all of your numbers. John and I will be able to do a good amount of that, but we realize that we need to have good managers alongside of us. And so we're thankful because this week, one of the things that we've had going on is one of the restaurants down here that we've been working in is hiring a new manager. And so they've actually allowed us to be a part of that process, asking questions, getting to watch the interview, and then doing a debrief afterwards with the hiring person and talking about what they liked, what they didn't like, what you should look for in a good candidate to hire for your restaurant. So that's something that John and I are going to take back to Wichita with us, and that's a great experience for us to get down here. So I've been super fortunate to have that. But other than that, I mean, it's been really, really crazy down here. As far as being in the restaurant that many days back to back, there's just so many things that it takes a lot of reps to start to pick up on and start to see. And that's what we're getting. That's what we're doing down here. At the beginning of this video is me going for a run. That's something I'm hoping to get back into a bit more. I've actually been having a little bit of knee pain, so I've been a little bit cautious, trying to, monitor that, take inventory, see what the different pain areas are caught. So that's something I've been trying to take inventory of and make sure that it doesn't get too far out of hand, especially I want to run an ultra marathon here in the next few months. I need to start training pretty hard. But before I do that, I want to make sure I'm starting off at as close to 100% as I can get. So I've been taking it easy, dialing the miles back, and really trying to focus on what I can do to help heal it, whether that's the sauna, whether that's cold plunge, whether that's a straight ice pack or massage gun, or just rest. Doing whatever I can to kind of help with that inflammation and the pain. Since I haven't been running nearly as much as I'd like to, John and I have been going extremely hard in the gym. My hands are all calloused over. Every muscle in my body is sore. It has been awesome to be back in the gym, like moving a good amount of weight around, and just every single day you're in there killing it. And it's been such a nice outlet for myself and for John too, I'm sure. One of the running jokes I've had this year is that every day is chest day in 2024. So I actually have been focusing a lot on chest. I want to get my bench up. For some reason, it's an arbitrary number, but I've always wanted to bench 265 pounds, and I've not crossed it yet. I've gone as close as you can get, which includes hitting, I think, 260. So I'm hoping to go through 265, and I'd like to get up to 275 or 280 this year. But that's going to take a lot of reps and a lot of work. That's been one of the key focuses I've had in the gym lately. Yeah, but with working so many hours and then making time for the gym, one of the things that I made a pact with myself when I came out to Florida that I didn't want to let slip is the podcast, Real Conversations. And so it's been really hectic lately, and making time for that's been difficult. And last week I was actually in a situation where I'd sent out DMs, I was trying to get a couple episodes lined up, and everything kind of fell through. And last moment on Wednesday, Sean Whalen, the CEO of Lions Not Sheep, which is a very popular apparel brand, I'll talk more about that in a moment, he DM'd me and said he was actually available. And the last thing I felt like doing on Wednesday was recording a podcast. But I knew that if I didn't do it Wednesday, then the likelihood of me having an episode for Monday would decrease significantly. And so Sean and I made the time, hopped on Wednesday night, and recorded what is one of my favorite episodes. And if you listen to it, he makes a lot of very bold statements, and he speaks his mind in a way that most people probably wouldn't. And that's one of the things I most respect about him. There's certain things that he said that I may not necessarily agree with, or I wouldn't have worded things the way that he did. But the reason I enjoyed the episode is because the confidence that he speaks from and his ability to live his reality and his truth in such an authentic manner is one that I really think is important for living your life. You only have one life, and you only get one shot at this. And living a version of a life that you think someone else wants you to live, or being someone for someone else, is not something that I want to do. And so I have a lot of respect for the people that live in their truth and they live an authentic version of themselves. And Sean does that very well. And someone else who does that very well is Dr. Jordan Peterson, which, if you don't know who Dr. Jordan Peterson is, he's a psychologist. Some might call him a philosopher, but he's just had a lot of experience with people and observing people. And he breaks down concepts that are very complex into very simple, easy to understand concepts. He's been a professor at some top-notch universities like Harvard, and now he's just a massive public figure. And Sean actually hosted an event with some pretty prominent entrepreneurs and different public figures, and Jordan Peterson came out to that event, and they shared the stage together. And so I started my episode with Sean talking about his experience with Jordan, what that was like, and what the importance of living your truth is, and how that can kind of set you free from some of the pitfalls of life. And it was a super deep and meaningful conversation, and I really enjoyed it. So if you guys haven't checked out that episode, it's on YouTube, it's on Apple, it's on Spotify, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Make sure to check it out. But I really enjoyed my time with Sean. I met him in 2020 when I started the Venture Mentality podcast. He supported me in a lot of different ways, including I used to host these online events during COVID back when I was first getting started. And it would have like 8 people. You could come and talk to an entrepreneur online but Sean would come and he would be one of my guest speakers. And I mean, he's connected to some super successful people. He himself has had multiple companies that have been super successful. For him to make the time like that, I appreciated it. But if you don't know who Sean is, he's the CEO of Lions Not Sheep, which has become just a massive nationwide brand. They've done, I think, about $30-40 million in sales to date. He's got a couple other successful companies. He's a best-selling author. He's a father. He's just a really all-around interesting, successful guy. So I enjoyed getting to sit down with him and talk for a bit. I mean, all in all, it was a very busy week on the Wichita front. We're trying to get a couple things figured out as far as what software we want to use. I mentioned last week we're looking at some accounting software, some financial software, and then we have a meeting tomorrow regarding POS software. POS is point of sale. That's what you use to accept payments and to handle all of your orders. It's an important piece of software that each restaurant has. So we're taking a look at a couple different providers and what their packages offer. Just kind of like in the weeds, different things that we're doing with all that. But all in all, it's been a great week, especially getting in with those manager interviews here in Orlando and getting that experience has been great. Glad I got top in the ice bath. Connecting with Sean again was awesome, and getting things taken care of on the Wichita front. We actually think we found an architect. We've been talking with him a bit, and that's progress. I know both John and I are super excited to get back to Wichita and to actually get to meet with people in person. It's great doing meetings over Zoom and getting things moving while we're still getting this experience down here, but I always kind of prefer to be in person, especially when developing those relationships. We'll head back to Wichita probably the first or second week of April and get to actually be in person and on site for those things. I'm super excited for the future. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. Check out the podcast. Or if you have any ideas for episodes, you want me to go more in depth on different topics, you'd like me to discuss some things I haven't talked about yet, just put it in the comments or send me a DM at Jacob O'Connor on Instagram. I want to cater this content to be something that's actually valuable for you guys while I'm also documenting the journey. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.